why it had taken so long to designate Boko Haram as an FTO. And I don't know if you've seen a story that's out today in an online publication that, in fact, Secretary Clinton, who I know was before your time, but she and the State Department at that point, back in 2011, 2012, fought against CIA, Justice Department, other advice to designate Boko Haram as an FTO, which I believe gives law enforcement agencies certain powers that they can then go in and start helping. What is your reaction to that? Why did the Secretary... Was that true, that she refused the advice of other agencies within the administration? And if so, why?
Well, I'm obviously not going to discuss internal debates, especially those that happened years ago. But under Secretary Clinton, I would remind you, we did designate 3 Boko Haram leaders in 2012. That was an important step, one that the United States was forward on, one that did put in place some resulting actions. And obviously, there's a long process that goes to determining whether you should designate. But I think an important reminder here is designations are just one tool we use to fight terrorism. There are a range of steps, including under Secretary Clinton, that Secretary Kerry have continued, stepping up counterterrorism cooperation with not just the Nigerian government, but other governments in Northern Africa, stepping up other resources that we can provide and work with teams on the ground to do. So this is just one tool, but there were many steps that were taken given the rising concern about Boko Haram, and we've only seen a lot of the horrific actions that they've taken, unfortunately, increase over the course of the last several months.
But do you feel you lost a couple of years? I mean, the big attack where they first really came to international notice was, although they've been around a while before that, was in 2011 when they bombed a UN building in Abuja. Mm-hmm. Did you lose a couple of years by not focusing attention on Boko Haram in that sense? They were a very nebulous, shadowy kind of organization. Mm-hmm. These 2 years, did it allow them to regroup, and has that in some way hampered the fight that you're now going to have on your hands?
No, because designating an organization as a foreign terrorist organization is just one tool. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the rise of Boko Haram, their increasing acts of terrorism around Africa is something that we've been watching closely. It's something that Secretary Clinton and her team were watching closely. Obviously, with the tragic events with the kidnapping of the Nigerian girls, the world is now watching this, including many across the United States more closely. And it does, which is why the Secretary raised this morning, raise a spotlight on this issue, and one that we are, despite the tragedy, happy to have on it, given how horrific these events have been and how concerned we are about their proliferation over the last several months and years.